the Marines, got my rucksack, did a little bit of travelling for a few years around Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and it really got my appetite going for some extreme adventure. After about 3 years of travelling, totally broke, hadn't got a penny to my name, I thought, you know what, I want to set up something where I can train people up to have the confidence to go anywhere in the world. So I set up elite survival training. Within the UK, I run survival courses, sometimes for schools, sometimes for corporate companies, sometimes for production companies that are wishing to go that further bit of the field into deep jungles or deserts. But more interestingly, I get hired by production companies who come up with a concept idea. Most of the time it's pretty crazy. And they say, John, can you go to the middle of nowhere and research this subject and put the programme together? About 2 years ago, sat at home, Northampton, dinner on my lap, watching EastEnders, bored out of my head, watching Stacey Slater, and I thought, I need to have an adventure. And lo and behold, about 8 o'clock at night, the phone went, and it was a production company in London that networked through. This is, hi John, we understand you've been to Papua New Guinea before. I've previously been able to do Last Man Standing Extreme Dreams. He said, we've got an idea, we've got a subject that we want to investigate, and we'd really like you to go out there and look into it for us. I said, well, what's the subject? He said, it's cannibalism. We would like you to find a guy called Tidikawa from the Biami tribe who's responsible for mass genocide and has eaten many, many people. And he said, are you in or are you out? I looked at EastEnders, I looked at the dinner, I thought about it for all of 10 seconds, and I thought, I am totally in. Now you probably all know where Papua New Guinea is, second largest island in the world, just above Australia, and it's in fact split in half. You've got Papua New Guinea and West Papua. Now I had to find this guy called Tidikawa. It was filmed in 1968 by an anthropologist, and I was given the black and white grainy DVD from some dusty archives, and I watched it. Now no one knew where this chap lived. No one even knew he was still alive. Soon found that the Biami were a world apart from everyone else. You're talking about a part of the world that's inaccessible by car, by road, and only recently it's been accessible by plane. And these guys still going around, pugs through their noses, bows and arrows, living off the land, totally unaware of the outside world. Before I went in, I prepped the kit. In it, everyday items that I might use if I'm caught without my rucksack. Toothbrush, antibacterial soap, medical kit, hammock, sleeping bag. But what I found as a community, the kids, just like our kids, would be out, get into mischief, playing sport, and everyone again very friendly. But the big difference of life, as a community, all the ladies would go out and process sago, cutting down huge trees and then processing it. And then as a community again, equally sharing those meals out. And that for me was phenomenal, because as neighbours, as we live in our tiny little houses, we keep ourselves. But as a community for these guys, everybody shared everything. Predominantly, the locals are vegetarians. Okay? They now live in these set places. Alright? They all live in these set places. They've hunted all the game around for miles and miles and miles. Pretty much all the wild pigs, deers, birds, they've all gone. It's like, Benny, when's the last time you had meat? 2 months ago. He's got these 2 birds to feed 4 children, himself and his wife as well. And he was chuffed to bits. And then that's when the Sode started seeing, it's like, okay, so you don't have meat on a regular basis. It's like, no, once in a blue moon. Predominantly though, if they do have meat, they might have a cassowary bird. This is one that they've reared themselves. But whilst I was there, they did catch a wild one. Now I've been here for about 4 days now, and I've warmed to the locals have warmed to me. And they now know my intentions is to really research what cannibalism is really about. Have you ever eaten human flesh? I was kind of bricking it. I was like, and they just laughed at me. And they said, yeah, we have, John. What's the big deal? Have you ever eaten chicken? I was like, yeah. And I said, well, for these guys, before 1972, cannibalism was a very, very common occurrence. There's lots of different reasons why they did it between tribes, but these guys, the Samo people near Honanabe, They only did it when other tribes, like the Biami, used to come down and raid their villages. The Biami used to come down, okay, once in a blue moon and deliberately kill them for their flesh. These guys would defend their long houses with their women and children with their lives, and anyone that was caught and dead, like, well, why waste the meat? The enemy's gone, why waste it? So back Papcom, I now need to start making my way towards Tidikawa. I need to get to Mogalu. To give you an idea though, I've now been in the jungle for about 10 days. What happened next is probably one of the most incredible things that's ever happened to me, in all honesty. Get to the village, and normally when you walk into villages you see people milling around, kids playing, but when I get here there's no one. I'm like, right, senses pick up, but I am too sure what's going on now. And I get there and they said, John, just want you to go in that longhouse on your own. I'm now being led to meet Tidikawa.